What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm here to bring you something I've never done on my channel before. So basically this is a little 2019 sort of review sort of thing. So basically I'm going to be going from the lowest teams in the 2018 standings to the top teams in 2018 standings, and it's going to be done over 5 days. I'm hoping those 5 days are going to be this Monday to obviously Friday. And starting off, obviously, it's going to be Williams and Toro Rosso. So, a quick 2018 recap. Williams had the drivers of Lance Stroll and Sergei Sorokin, and managed to score 7 points over the season. This year, they've got George Russell and Robert Kubica. It's interesting to see how they're going to perform this year. Obviously, they've lost Martini now, and they've got Rocket as a new title sponsor. As we will be able to see on the thumbnail, it says Rocket Williams Racing now. So basically, it's very difficult with Williams. They're probably one of the hardest teams to predict on who they're driving for, on who they've got, on how they're going to perform this year. Because last year they had a terrible car, and I don't rate the drivers that highly there last year anyway. But George Russell, I don't really rate that highly anyway. I know a lot of people are probably going to be really annoyed at that, but I've never really rated him in the first place. Robert Kubica, I've rated him highly before, but obviously it's going to be different now because he hasn't raced for 9 years. But anyway, I think Williams are going to have a better car than last year. I don't expect them to be doing much better than they did last year. I expect them to still be near the bottom, maybe challenging Toro Rosso a bit more, or I don't know. It's just depending on what's going to happen. But obviously miss out on 2 days of testing now as well that we know of. Day 1, day 2 of the first test, which is a quarter of testing, which is obviously good when you've got 2 new drivers in George Russell and Robert Kubica. But George Russell, I think is a good. I don't know who's going to do better. I would like to say Kubica, but I honestly don't have a clue. But George Russell, I think he's going to do well, and I think Kubica is going to do quite well as well. Obviously, with Kubica, it's going to be interesting because he now has obviously limited movement on, I think it's his right arm, because after he nearly had his hand cut off in a running accident in 2011. So he hasn't raced a proper Formula 1 race since 2010 in Abu Dhabi. So it's going to be interesting to see how he performs. But obviously, I'm not sure if you watched practice last year, but when he did a practice session, when he turned, I think it's the left corner. He now has put one of the hands at the bottom of the steering wheel, or it might be the other way around, I can't exactly remember. But that is what I think for Williams. I think they're probably still going to be at the end of the pack. Out of the 10 teams, I think they're probably going to finish 9th or 10th again, unfortunately, which is obviously very different to where they have been before, because obviously they have won championships before. I mean, during the early 90s, they absolutely dominated. I think they dominated 92, 93, 94 they won the constructors, and I think they also won the drivers again 96 and 97. So you know it's going to be interesting how they perform, but that's my opinion. They're going to finish 9th and 10th, and that's it. Now moving on to Toro Rosso. So last year they had the drivers of Brendan Hartley and Pierre Gasly, and they were going to score 33 points over the full season. This year they have the drivers Daniel Kvyat, who I think is back for a third or fourth time, one of the two, and Alexander Albon. Now, Albon hasn't driven a Formula 1 car until last week. The first time he drove a Formula 1 car was last week, at the time of recording this video. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they perform. It's their second year with Honda Power, so I feel like they're going to do better than they did the previous season. So they finished in 9th, not massively behind Sauber, but I think Sauber, now Alfa Romeo, I think they're going to be a dark horse, but obviously I'll explain it more in the next video, which involves obviously Alfa. But yeah, their second year with Honda Power, and there was actually an interview I saw with Franz Tost earlier, who obviously is team principal of Toro Rosso, saying that Honda made a big step. I believe they probably have, and obviously last year they still weren't massively reliable and still weren't massively quick, but you could tell they have made progress since leaving McLaren. But yeah, Daniel Kvyat, I've never really rated him highly. I don't think he should be in Formula 1 personally. You know, loads of people say he's a big talent and things like that, but I personally don't think he is. I mean, you look at it, how he performed against Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz pretty much annihilated him when they were teammates. There wasn't much point that I saw of Kvyat racing. I don't think he's a good driver, but I would say he's not going to perform that well. Albon, he's a brand new driver. I think he can learn things from Kvyat, but I still believe that I believe Albon will beat Kvyat anyway. You know, he's got a lot to learn. He's completely like I said, he's only driven a Formula 1 car for the first time last week. So yeah, it's interesting to see how they're going to be, but I believe they'll do better than last year with obviously second year with Honda. I would predict they're going to finish around 8th or 9th, pretty much the same as this year. I believe they're going to finish 8th or 9th, finished 9th last year, and I believe they're going to finish around 8th and 9th again, maybe 7th, depending on how good the car is. But with their drivers, Albon is an unknown, and Kvyat I personally don't think is that good in the first place. So that's my opinion. I think they're going to finish in 8th or 9th again, pretty much like this season. So yeah, that's basically it for this video, guys. So if you did enjoy it, please give it a big like, comment down what you thought. Also let me know your thoughts down in the comments as well. It'd be very interesting to know. But if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big like, comment down below what you thought, subscribe if you're new for weekly F1 content at the moment daily with these team previews. You'll follow me on Twitter at shadow_82 as always. There's links to that down in the description, and I will see you guys next time.